Morning. Morning. Thank you for hearing me on the record. Representative William Bryan, representing Hillsborough District 4, which is towns of New Boston, Mount Vernon, Lineborough, Welton, and Temple. And I'm going to follow the direction I give many members, which is to be brief. But I do want to congratulate Representative Hopper for once again bringing this bill forward. So often we hear as legislators the mantra, it's for the children. Most often, it's not for the children at all, it's for the growth of government. But this is a bill that is for the children. This is a bill to protect children. This is a bill that says if you're in a marriage and you have minor children, there's at least a third participant in a divorce. And that participant is the most important participant in the divorce. That is the participant that is going to be most substantially and adversely impacted by a divorce. And saying that the regime we put in place of no-fault divorce allows for too easy and frivolous of a decision to depart from a relationship that is crucial for the future well-being, health, and mental health, the physical health, and the future prospects of a minor child. And if you're going to do it, have a cause to do it. If you're going to do it, just don't say there's been an irretrievable breakdown. But do it because the marriage can no longer be sustained. Don't be frivolous in doing it. And with regard to how many times this bill has come before the legislature, elections have consequences. And it is perhaps the choice of the legislature not to take seriously bills such as this that are protecting families and protecting marriage that has led to the consequences we've seen in the last election. Last time, House leadership came in to oppose this bill. This time, House leadership is coming in to support this bill and to ask this committee to give it a favorable recommendation and send it on to the legislature with an ought to pass so that we can begin to protect the children of New Hampshire. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Speaker O'Brien, for your testimony. We've heard today, and I'm trying to simplify what I've heard, we've heard today that this bill would require divorcing parents that don't have children to divorce under irreconcilable differences. The cause of divorce would be limited to irreconcilable differences. Is that accurate?
That's not my reading of the language, but quite frankly, if two adults without children wish to end their relationship, their marriage, it is really between them. And they would choose the degree of seriousness they want to bring to that decision. If they have minor children, however, it's no longer between them. It's among them and their child or children. And at that point, the children ought to be given the greatest consideration. And I'm not sure if it's been presented to your committee, but there are substantial studies that talk about the fantastically adverse effect that a divorce has on minor children. I recall one university study that goes so far as having looked at it over a series of decades and talks about a decrease in lifespan because of if you're a minor child of a divorce. And if you think about it, it makes sense because the antisocial behavior that is characteristic of children of divorce, in fact, limits not just their economic prospects, their mental health, their physical health, but their lifespan as a whole. And so what we're saying is the society, the government, the laws should not allow parents who have made the choice to bring a child into the world to depart from the most sustaining and the most necessary relationship for that child, which is an intact family.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. So now I understand that for parents with children, we're promoting a reason to get divorced or fault grounds and not irreconcilable differences. conversely, if you're a family divorcing or considering divorce with no children, then it will be irreconcilable differences.
It can be, or I assume you could still turn to a fault-based divorce. I'm a lawyer, but I don't practice in family court, although I do more appellate work and I've taken appeals coming out of family court. And quite frankly, I wouldn't know why anyone whether it's just a relationship between two people and their children, would want to put themselves through having to develop a factual basis for the divorce. But I believe they certainly still could.
And thank you once again. So going down this road, and Mr. Speaker, this would promote parents with children for finding a reason to divorce and not a frivolous reason, which is just reconciling differences.
Well, that's right, and I think as Representative Hopper alluded to, if you look at the cause-based reasons for divorce, it is entirely protective of a spouse who may be subject to a situation that all of us would find untenable and unacceptable, whether it's violence or desertion or other such traditional basis for a fault reason to end a divorce. It's not going to take away any protection of spouses from those situations that all of us find abhorrent, but it is going to say you have to identify some cause to end a divorce, and not that you've just decided you don't want to invest in a relationship anymore.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've read this bill several times, and each time I get a sense of the good heart and the positive place that this comes from, and the desire to do the right thing, and I'm very appreciative of that. My question is this: if two parents agree, they have a child, they agree to, I think the term is irremediable breakdown, is that correct? If they demonstrate that they have gone through counseling and they have come up with a package, and they essentially say to the marital master, Your Honor, we have tried everything to do this. We don't want to have a cause of any sort on the record because we think that it could provide some injuries to our child. We don't want to label this. We want our child to know that we are doing this after we have done everything we possibly can. We have good relationships with the child. Are we saying to those parents, the state doesn't trust you? The state effectively is saying, no, it doesn't matter how well you've worked this out. We've got to put a label on this. And
what we're saying is to those who would draw the false scenario that you would premise your question on, that it doesn't exist in reality. Indeed, there's no requirement of demonstration that you've taken all steps to preserve the relationship in law. Moreover, I would suggest to you that it's very, very rare for a couple to reach that sort of a measured decision in saying that this will end up being harmful to the children. That's what I'm getting at. Indeed, the classic and the most prevalent decision is one member of the married couple decide, I just don't want to be involved in this anymore. Maybe I find someone else more attractive. Maybe I find it just so burdensome to continue performing my responsibilities as a married person, and they make the choice to depart from the marriage. What it is saying, and I will grant you that because it is intrinsic to this bill, is that the married couple's decision and role is subsidiary to that of a minor child when they have one who results from the marriage, because that's the one person who can protect himself or herself. And we're saying that it has to be demonstrated to be a marriage that can't be preserved before